great benefits that the National Auctioneers Association provides. I think is it $300 a year, Jason, is that to join? $325. And if you join, they give you a $300 credit towards education during the year. Lots of designations, lots of great things about the NAA. That, and then also I wanted to mention before I forget, our Colorado Auctioneers Association Convention coming up in January, so you want to be a part of that. So Tricia Brower, most of you know, we've got a handout from Tricia, and are you frightened at all, or should I just give you the mic?
Can I yield my time?
Act to follow, so let's give Alex a round of applause.
One quick thing, if you are interested in being a NAA professional, I am the ambassador for Colorado, and I do have forms. It's $325 to join, but if you join with me today, I can take $100 off, so it would be $225 for you. And once again, like OJ said, that's 3 years of $300 vouchers that can be used to impact your education. So, Tricia.
And because of the fast format, I won't go into the things that the NAA is working on. So for those of you that are currently NAA members, you can grab Jason or I to talk about what we're working on. Or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please grab one of us because we are here to help you all. So with that being said, my name is Tricia Brower, and I have the great privilege of being a benefit auctioneer out of Kansas City. And I am here, woohoo, what's up? And so I am here for the next few minutes to talk to you about building your benefit auction business. That is the area that I have made my living, and that is where my sweet spot in life is. And a question that I commonly get is, why benefit auctions? And honestly, the reason for it is that I worked in corporate America for about a decade before I moved into the auction business. My family kept saying, you want to be an auctioneer, and I'm like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Full disclosure, I was not on board with this plan. And through a very series of what I thought were unfortunate events at the time, but ended up being, a blessing in disguise, I found the auction business, and I knew right away I wanted to get out of corporate America. Like, I hate it. I didn't hate it. It wasn't fulfilling. I really thought, I was single at the time, I lived by myself, and I remember sitting in my office one day and thinking, how many days could I not show up to work before somebody would care? Because I worked in a cog, you know what I mean? And so I thought there has to be more. And so I thought, well, here's an opportunity, and I thought benefit auctions, because I didn't need real estate, I didn't need an auction house, I didn't need a bunch of technology, I didn't need hardware, I didn't need software, I didn't need licenses. Kansas is a non-licensed state for auctioneering, and so I didn't need a license. All I really needed was a personality, being able to speak publicly. I have both of those things naturally, so I went to the library and just started reading about nonprofits. And that's what I did every single night when I'd come home from work. I'd spend 3 or 4 hours just reading about nonprofits, educating myself on what they did and how they ran. And here, lo and behold, I thought, I want to leave sooner rather than later. And I heard some advice while I was at auction school, and it's like, well, how do you get auctions? And maybe some of you have heard this advice before, and they said, go do your first auction and do a really good job, because somebody's going to see you and want to hire you. I thought, well, that's actually good advice, but it's the worst advice I've ever heard. Because I don't, one person that's going to hire me for 6 months out. And then I have 2, it's going to take me 100 years to get to where I want to go. This is not, I can't quit my job and do 2 auctions the first year and 4 auctions the second year and 8 auctions the third year. That doesn't work for me. So I thought, how am I going to go about this? How am I going to attack it? And so part of what I did was I sat down and I really considered, what is my business going to look like? And that's what I'm going to share some pointers with you today. So there's a handout. But this is a little bit of a different handout because I am going to go through it and I'm going to point out some things that you can use. But this is actually one of the things that I work to differentiate myself from my competition. Because I can tell you right now, the one thing that I get, I teach the Benefit Auctioneer Specialist designation through the NAA, and I absolutely love it. And one of the questions that I get constantly is, well, I have so-and-so in my market who does it for free. I have so-and-so in my market who does it for cheap. And what I will tell you right now is that if you are competing on price alone, you are a commodity and you will never be hired. You have to differentiate yourself. And so how do you differentiate yourself? Show value, okay? My grandpa gave me some of the best advice that I've ever heard. He goes, if you want to make a lot of money in life, you have to do one of 2 things. Make somebody else more money or make their life easier. I said, okay, so that's what I've taken as my motto with my nonprofits. I'm gonna help you make more money. At the same time, I'm also gonna help make your life easier with this, right? So how do we go about doing that? So I've put together a lot of different types of resources and intellectual property. Now this is mine and I've willingly given it to you. If you want to take something like this and put your spin on it, please do so. I will not email this to you because I know what you'll do. You will take my logo off and slap yours on it. Okay? So I'm more than happy to help you, but you gotta at least type it. Right? So you at least have to type it out. Alright? But I also encourage you to take something like this, but make sure that it's in your personality, because this was written by me and it's my personality. So if this isn't how you speak, if this isn't how you address your clients, put your spin on it. Does that make sense? Okay, so how can you help differentiate yourself from your clients? So I'm going to kind of follow along here, but also talk about your business. So the first one is an event analysis. Working with your clients to say, what type of event are you having? Now, how do you apply this to yourself? What type of benefits do you want to do? All successful businesses have a laser-focused target market. Laser focused. And when I worked in corporate America, that was my job. I was a marketing director for healthcare. I had to get people excited about MRIs, CTs. No joke. I'm like, oh, I can sell a trip to Hawaii? Cool. Like, I can totally do this now. But if I need to tell the public that, hey, when you need an MRI, come see us, I had a very specific target market. Number one, women. All day long. Didn't even worry about men, right? Most individuals are married. Who makes the decisions about healthcare in most families? Women. Who schedules the appointments? Women, right? So do you see, so I didn't even worry about the guys. Well, the guys might need an MRI. Yeah, they're gonna need it, but who's gonna schedule it? Because we do that stuff, right? So the same thing goes with your benefit auction clients. People are like, well, I'll work with anyone. Well, if you try to talk to everyone, you're not gonna hit anybody's messaging on there, okay? So who do you love? Take what you love and put the auction business with it. So what are causes that are near and dear to your heart? Okay, could Alex go and approach, are there climbing groups that raise money? All day long. Can Alex go in there with what his passion and experience is and talk to them in a language that they're going to understand and relate to way better than any of us in this room? Yes. All day long, okay? He's got a total niche market right there. So what do you love? What is your thing? Okay? Is it education? Is it your church? Is it your faith? You know, for me, it's animals. For me, it's dogs. Those of you who know me well know that dogs are my jam on there. You get me on stage and get me to convince an audience that they need to give money for homeless pets, I will smoke all of you in this room all day long. Okay? I will. But there's other things that I'm also not good at. So who do you want to work with? What size of event do you want to work with? What size? Right? Organizations will range from 1 or 2 people to a staff of hundreds on there. How much money are they raising? My sweet spot, and I'll tell you this all day long, there's some auctioneers that are like, you know, I raised millions of dollars. Well, awesome, good for you. But I love the clients that raise about $50,000 to $150,000 at an event. Those aren't huge. I love them though, right in that little sweet spot for me. So how big do you want to be? So I mean, I'm telling you these things to encourage your thought process so that as you approach who you're going to address to grow your benefit auction business, you can say, here are the very specific types of people that I want to talk to, and this is how I'm going to approach them. I sent out a direct marketing package to animal organizations across the United States. And in that, I included a picture of myself with my golden retriever and Mark. Mark's awesome, by the way. He's my mutt, right? He's pretty, Doug loves him. Doug's going to steal Mark from me one of these days, and just know it. And I talk about my own experiences rescuing animals, right? It speaks to them on there. So you can also work with that. Next one, revenue streams. Now here's something for your events, okay? Breaking it down, how do they want to make money? But you as a benefit auctioneer can also include this as well into your own benefit business. You can charge for other things and make money doing other things other than auctioneering services, right? Now, every market will respond to these types of things a little bit differently. Thank you, sir. And so you want to do a little bit of testing, right? How are clients responding to various pitches? How are people responding to things? My market, for example, does not respond well to a percentage. Doesn't respond well to a commission. It just doesn't, okay? But I've figured out a way to somewhat make more money that honestly is commission, but they just don't view it that way. Okay? Other things that you can charge for, okay? So for example, in my market, I have auctioneering services, but then I have ringmen, okay? That's another revenue stream. I don't put my ringmen into my fee. It doesn't work for me. Maybe you want to add video services where you bring a videographer and you say, you know, we're going to bring a videographer, we're going to tape things throughout the evening, and we're going to give you a 2.5-minute video for you to use to promote your event the next year. You can do PowerPoint presentations, complete the PowerPoint presentation. You can do script writing. You can do MC services. You can bring bid cards, okay? Do you know how many benefit auction clients need bid cards?
All of them.
All of them. It's like, I literally have showed up to an event like, oh, we don't have those. Oh my God, right? Well, get you a Sharpie, let's go. Right, okay? You can add these services, on. You can add photography services. So there's a lot of ways to get creative where you can add different things into that and then also charge money, okay? They don't have what do you want besides money? Because nonprofits, they all don't have any money, right? They're all poor. They're all the brother-in-law that doesn't have a job, right? They're all poor. So, but they also don't have human resources. That's the other thing they lack the most of, is human resource power, right? And I'm sure Debbie hears this a lot with the software and the hardware and getting the volunteers and all that stuff. So if you can bring some of those things to the table and charge a fair price, they'll take you up on it, right? Another one, I like to do a lot of pre-event marketing for my benefit auction clients, and I charge them for that, okay? It is completely self-serving, because when I pre-market for their event, what am I highlighting? Anyone want to take a guess?
The live auction.
Live auction items, right? We are selling this amazing thing, putting together little videos. Takes me just a few minutes on social media, but I'm charging them for this, and it's a very low amount, okay? I'll tell you, I usually charge about $500, and that gets, 3 posts a week, blah, 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 for X period of time. But bidders are coming to my events way more prepared, and they're spending a lot more money. So you can have these things. So think about that. All right, next page. When you are looking at helping your benefit auction clients, make sure that you know who you are speaking with. Know who is going to be in the audience, because even though the advice of do the auction well because your next auction is sitting out there, it is good advice. It'll take you a very long time if that's the only method of marketing that you choose to grow your business. But your clients are out there. So you want to know who is going to be in the audience. Okay? What are some reasons why you would want to know? If I'm going to a benefit auction and I'm the auctioneer and I'm doing for the Humane Society, why would I want to know who the guests are?
Who's got the money?
Who has money? First off, do they have money? Right? There's a big difference between, I like to ask this question, how much are your ticket sales? Or how much do you charge for a ticket? There's a big difference between a nonprofit that charges $25 and one that charges $250. Very different clientele, right? So who's out there? You want to know these things because you as an auctioneer should adapt to that to some extent, right? If I'm going to do the Humane Society, do I want to sell a hunt?
Definitely not.
I have gotten 2 auctions. I've got 2 auctions in my market because auctioneers have shown up and said, we've got these connections. We can do a dove hunt in Argentina. Whoa. Thank you. I appreciate your stupidity. Nice. Okay. Because they're just not looking at who they're talking to. They're not looking at who are you talking to. You've got to put your stuff in line with their objectives and their missions, okay? So know who's out in that audience out there. Do you want to sell a puppy at a Humane Society event? Mm-hmm. Oh, no. No. Okay? They're available for adoption, okay? But I'm not selling a purebred dog at all when it comes to that, okay? So just know your audience right there. And you also can bring tools and resources to your event that will help them raise more money because you know who's going to be in the audience out there, and you can help steer the conversation of what they can do to help raise them more money. Right? That's what you want to know. So help them, encourage them to understand who's out there. You can gather demographics on people who come to an event. And you should. Your nonprofit should. And another reason for that, and this is a huge thing that you can help because nonprofits are missing the boat all day long right now. And those of you that do live a little bit more in the nonprofit world, one of the number one things right now that we're seeing is that sponsorships are declining. It's harder to get sponsorships. I'm seeing heads going up and down, so you all have heard this. Nonprofits are saying, boy, we're losing our sponsors. It's harder to get sponsors. But here's why. I can tell you right now, because we've sat down and done some focus groups with businesses and said, what's going on? Why are you doing this? And you know what their answer is?
They're not getting an ROI.
They're not certain what it is. Well, we don't really know what we're sponsoring. We don't really know what's going on, okay? So if I can say, nonprofits write these beautiful letters that say, we're amazing, and here's all the wonderful things that we do in our community. Please give us money. As a person, as Tricia Brower as a person, I appreciate that. Yes, that is important, and yes, congratulations. But as a business, you didn't tell me anything I want to write you a check for at all. You need to tell me who's in the audience, how many people are coming, are they married, what's their level of education, what's their average income. You can do a lot of this with zip codes using the U.S. Census Bureau. All day long. It's not that hard. If people think it's hard, it's not that hard. I'm more than happy. We don't have enough time to go into it today. I'm more than happy I had to tell you to put together a little map. So that when nonprofits go out and they'd say, hi Casey, I'm Tricia Brower with the Humane Society. I'm here today to ask you for a $10,000 sponsorship, and here's the reason why I feel that this is the best match for your business. Number one, your business's main core objectives are this, and this is how they match up to our mission. Number two is that when you sponsor our event, you're going to get in front of this many people, and this is exactly what they look like. And by the way, that happens to be your exact demographic for your business. Right? Okay? Instead of being like, let me tell you about all the dogs we feed and all the cats we save. Okay, now after I get him on board, can I tell him about these things? Sure. All day long, right? But not from the get-go. So that's another way where you can set yourself apart from your competition. Putting together workshops and trainings on how to effectively approach sponsorships. Take your business sense and couple it with the nonprofit world. Yes, Ms. Debbie.
With the groups you're working with, is your experience that they are just sending a letter, they're not doing a face-to-face? I know as a business, it's rare I even get a phone call.
For the most part, they are passive about it, and so they're relying on emails or letters. But then the second component with that is even if they do a face-to-face, they're mirroring what they say in the letter instead of going at it from a true investor standpoint. Because that's what they're asking, right? If you're going to the bank, you've got to tell them about how they're going to make their money back, not how awesome your business is. Honestly, my husband does lending in a bank. They don't care. They don't. They are looking at, are you going to pay me back? That is all they care about. And the businesses that do sponsorships are the same all day long. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right, moving on. This 30-minute format's a little tough. Okay.
Makes you better.
It does make you better. Okay, next one. Engaging your donors. So donor retention is another area where you can help to set yourself apart from your competition. What is donor retention?
Making sure they come back and donate again.
Making them sure that they come back, okay? You as an auctioneer, I want you to think about it this way. You are handing your clients a rare gift. You are handing them something that is very difficult for them to obtain on their own. And what that is a new donor base every year. Because what is happening is that looking at across most organizations, the individuals who come to support the event the night of, have they ever had exposure to the nonprofit before that night? They have not. Why are they there? Someone invited them. Okay? I bought a table. Do y'all want to join me? Do they have open bar? Yes. My criteria. Okay? But I've never heard about this organization before, but you as the auctioneer, you as the fundraising professional, you are going to do such a phenomenal job that night, more than likely during the funding component, that you are going to create this compelling story, this amazing moment where people are like, woo, we'll give you money, okay? And you just had 50 to 75 people who had never come and engaged in your event before, who gave you money in some component of your event, which means they became a donor. They bought something in a live auction, they bought a raffle ticket, or they gave them a fund in need. They may have bought something in the live auction, more than likely probably not though. But they became a donor. Now, you just gave them, that's business. You just gave them business. Now your job is to help make sure they don't lose it. Business Philosophy 101, it is cheaper to keep new customers than to get new ones. And a big, huge gap in the nonprofit world is that at the end of the day, they get all these new donors, and you know what the sad part is? They're like, oh, well, they're just at the lower levels of the funded need. They're just at the $250 or the $100 level. They're not very big donors. Well, yeah, up until the night before, they didn't know you existed. But they decided to give you money. Now you need to engage them. Because the $100 becomes the $250, becomes the $500, becomes the $1,000, becomes the $2,500, becomes they don't have kids and they leave you everything in the will. But it has to start somewhere. And the biggest number one thing is gratitude. Expressing gratitude. Do you know why people don't give a second time? No one ever told them thank you. It is the saddest thing ever for me. It breaks my heart. And they're like, well, we don't have time to do handwritten thank yous. You need to reevaluate your priorities, folks. Well, we've got so many, okay. I get it. No, I get it. Okay? I don't have all the answers to everything. I wish I did. I don't. But if I just gave you 75 new donors, right? Here's one thing that we've started coaching on. Take this idea, you can steal it from me, I don't care. But it takes a few minutes to write out a handwritten thank you note, right? You know, dear Amanda, thank you for coming to our gala. We really appreciate, and and the email that's generic is the number one thing that pisses people off the most, just FYI. They're like, you didn't, like, especially if it goes to a major donor. You want to tick somebody off? Get you a $10,000 donor, you give them the generic letter, see you later, okay? But even the $100, the $250, or somebody who just bought a $25 gift certificate, thanks for coming, we appreciate your donation. They don't like it, okay? But writing that handwritten thank you note, by the time you address it, it does take some time. Video's awesome, folks. Video's one of the coolest, most amazing things that we can do nowadays. So setting up, and our smartphones are amazing at it. A lot of nonprofits, they may not have specific fancy video things, but you can make these small clips and have the CEO, the development director, sit with a cool backdrop, okay? Let's say you're raising money for the kids' playground, okay? Go sit on the playground, go sit on the edge of the slide, say, hi Alex, this is Trisha, I'm the executive with blah, blah, blah. I want to thank you for coming to our event. Your $100 donation that you gave to us in the funding need is helping us to complete this amazing project that you see behind us. We're going to keep you updated on the progress of this, and we hope to see you next year at our gala on August 25th, 2019. And just crank those out and send them via email. It takes about 25 seconds per video. And then you give them to a low-level executive or a low-level assistant in their office, and they just email those out. It has made a huge retention difference. Huge. Make sense? Take it and run with it. All right, the next one to help set yourself apart are revenue generators. Revenue generators are the other little things that you can add that will add bottom line revenue to their event. Most organizations do these, but what you may find is that they kind of get stuck in a rut and they keep doing the same thing over and over and over again. And the reason why they do it over and over again is because they did it, it's easy, they know how to do it, people are scared of change, and so therefore they just stick to the same script. But you can bring other ideas to them. You can say, hey, essentially it's all the same dog and pony show, right? You're just putting it in a little different costume on there. But how are you going to give your guests a different experience? So that way they don't feel like it's the exact same thing over and over. And this is a way that you can sell yourself on there. When I'm interviewing new clients, I'll say, what are the other things that you're doing, right? And then you can evaluate it too. Like one client was like, we give away a $1,000 gift certificate to Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee is one of the more popular grocery stores in our market. I was like, well, that's amazing because everybody buys groceries, right? Okay, that's a great raffle prize. I said, wow, that's amazing. How much are you charging, for the raffle ticket?
$5.
Oh, I wish.
Oh, they give it away.
$1.
$1 for a $1,000 gift card. I was like, what are you doing? So, here's the other thing. I hated math when I was in school. Math is your best friend. It really is. Being able to walk through people and do mathematical exercises of how that just doesn't make sense will get you a long way. on there. So just doing those ROI analysis exercises with them to say, goodness gracious, okay, well, we want everybody to participate. Well, then lower it to $100. You know what I mean? I mean, the price should be in line with what you're charging, right? This isn't, you're raising money, you're not actually, your donors are not the charity for them, right? Your constituents of the charity are, not the donors on there. So working with them, you can do a lot of fun things that add in there. Debbie has got an amazing resource on the website, 26 Revenue Enhancers, and so
And book two's under construction.
Book 2's under construction, and so it's really awesome because her team has put together different ideas from various auctioneers from around the country, and it's set up beautifully because it's like each revenue generator is a spread, and then it explains like what it is, how to do it, what they need.
And cautions.
Yeah, and cautions,
You
like
know,
things
where
that.
it'll work, where it won't.
Yeah, and so you can just email that to your client. I mean, I've downloaded, I send it out all the time. Like, I have this amazing resource for you. What I would like you to do before our next meeting, I'd like you to look through these, pick out 3 that you feel would be appropriate, and then we'll sit down and we'll figure out which are the best ones for your event. That's how you can set yourself apart from your clients. I have loved being a part of the benefit world. There's a lot of other places, you know, real estate, the auto auctions, they're amazing, but for me, I like it because my calendar is full. I know a lot of people don't know 30 days out what they're doing. I know through 2019 for the most part, almost into 2020 as well. I get to wear pretty dresses. I don't have to schlep boxes. I don't deal with rat infestations and cockroaches and, ticked off